fits in.
So I have the honor of being here representing a group today that's known as the Alliance for Clinical Trials in Oncology. But in order for you to understand that better, I really have to go back 56 years ago. The group has been around for 56 years. And how it came about is before 1955, we really had no treatment for cancer other than radiation and surgery, for all intents and purposes. There was no chemotherapy. There were no antibodies. And not only that, before the mid-1950s, there really wasn't a scientifically rigorous way to test whether one treatment was better than another treatment. Believe it or not, the idea of someone joining a trial and being able to be placed in one treatment group versus another to really try to get the answer on what is best did not exist before 1954 or 1955. So in the mid-50s, chemotherapy agents were becoming available, and the U.S. Congress, actually during the Eisenhower administration, led by a woman named Mary Lasker, lived in New York, and Sidney Farber, here at the Dana-Farber, went to Congress and got Congress to set aside money for government-funded cancer clinical trials, the first clinical trials that were done by large groups in the United States, actually in the world. This set a network of people, physicians, working in academic institutions who were supported by government funds to do large clinical trials research. Our group started with the first clinical trial that was done in a multi-center group. It was known as the Leukemia Group B at the time. It grew, the first studies were done in leukemia. Very quickly afterwards, studies in breast cancer became possible because agents became available that could be used for breast cancer chemotherapy. So the group became known as CALG-B for reasons that are not important to go into today, and grew significantly over the years, had a very large component testing many breast cancer treatments for the last several decades. Dr. Norton, who's in the room here, Dr. Norton, when were you the head of the CALG-B breast cancer committee?
Dinosaurs rolled here.
You were, yeah, but who was president? Yeah, so you're looking at one of the leaders of the group that we are today, and Dr. Huddis now is one of the, Dr. Huddis and Dr. Weiner, who's here at the Dana-Farber, are the co-chairs of the breast cancer committee within the group today. Well, it has grown dramatically over the years. We have just undergone a merger with two other large publicly funded cancer treatment groups. We do research not only in breast cancer, but in many other malignancies, but the breast cancer group is one of our largest and most prominent. We've had really critical funding from BCRF over the last several years that have helped us more rapidly move results, mostly studies of biomarkers.
What's a biomarker?
Oh, sorry. Cliff is tough.
I don't know.
The studies of markers that help us assess whether an individual will respond to treatment or not. I mean, in essence, that's what a biomarker means. It's a marker that can be tested either in a person's blood or in their tumor themselves that can say whether they will respond to a particular treatment or whether their disease will perform in a particular way. So we've been able to use BCRF funding to help move those markers, which are really crucial to help design clinical trials in a more efficient and effective way from the laboratory directly into clinical testing. The group, I am very proud to say, has over 3,000 physicians that donate their time to do the clinical trials. The doctors do not get paid. In fact, many of the institutions, we now have over 60 institutions that treat patients on clinical trials. These institutions actually tangibly donate resources and time to help the work happen. So every bit of funding that comes to the group is very heavily leveraged to do the work. And then finally, you know, it's grown from a team of literally 4 researchers doing a trial in leukemia, where the first protocol was typed on carbon paper and handed out to the one original and 3 copies, to really an enormous organization that has researchers working in cancer chemotherapy, in surgery, in laboratory science, in imaging, new cancer detection therapies, prevention, symptom management for people undergoing cancer treatment. I mean, these are just a few of the things in the very wide spectrum of studies of in cancer patients and for cancer patients that the group does.
Great, thank you. So